Hi, David again, and I wanted to do this particular video again on the Mormon garments, the magic underwear that the Mormons believe that if they buy it, which is expensive, and they wear it, which they're required to do in their temple ceremony, that they will be protected. Now, here is the difficulty in dealing with cults and Mormon trained thinking. If something good happens, a marksman shoots an arrow at your heart and it bounces off of your garments, every Mormon in the world tells that story under the radar. They don't tell it in the public. They don't print it. They don't say anything except to themselves. And they will say, gee, this thing happened and they were protected. So every time something good happens with the garment supposedly protecting physically, it's circulated among all the Mormons and it bears their testimony. Oh, I know the church is true. I know Jesus is the Christ. I know Joseph Smith was a prophet. Well, they don't know shit. Now, what happens when the arrow goes through the person's heart? Oh, we don't talk about that. And the bullet, yeah, it hit him in the back and killed him. We don't talk about that. Did he have his garments on? We don't talk about that. We only spread the stupidity of a piece of cloth protecting you. That's Mormon thought. That's cult thought. Now, people will say to me, oh, in the temple. Let me tell you something. I've been in the temple 50 years. I've been a temple veil worker. I've been in the temple. Don't tell me what they say in the temple. You put the garments on and say, this will be a protection to you. Doesn't really quite say, is it spiritual, is it physical, and it will ward off evil. But the Mormons make up new doctrine every day. And they say that the garment is physical. Now, you think I'm lying? Let me tell you something. I graduated from BYU in the J. Willard Marriott Center. He had just built, he donated millions and millions to BYU. He's a Mormon in good standing, and he built the Marriott Center. He's no little player in the Mormon, circus. He has his own act. He was interviewed, I believe it was, don't quote me now, I think it was Mike Wallace that interviewed him. And J. Willard Marriott of the Marriott Center, the biggest building on BYU campus, it'll seat, I think, right at 30,000. Mike Wallace said, well, do you wear the Mormon garment? Of course I do. I said, well, do you believe in it? Of course I do. There was a fire. I'm paraphrasing. The Mormons say, see, he's off. He's off by 2 degrees. He's off by 1 degree. Oh, see, they'll find any excuse not to accept the principle. The principle is J. Willard Marriott, who owns all of the Marriott Center, or built it free for BYU, and all of the Marriott hotels. I stayed in one at Burbank just, 3 months ago on vacation. Beautiful hotels, lots of pornography, lots of drinking, but that's okay because he pays lots of tithing too. J. Willard Marriott said to Mike Wallace, of course it's a protection. There was a fire. And I was in it, and it burned my pants right off of me. But I didn't get burned anywhere that the garment was covering. Mormons, don't tell me you have not heard, and many of you believe, it is a physical protection. You use that excuse when you say, oh, see, he didn't get burned, so it wasn't his time. God was protecting him through the garment. But you just had 2 missionaries killed by a car in Texas, both wearing their garments, both being very, very righteous and spiritual. Car ran right over them, ran over the garments and killed the boys too. Sad, tragic story. How come the garments didn't protect them? Oh, we don't talk about that. You can't believe how many comments I got on my YouTube of people calling me, oh my God. And you go look at my comments. I never erase any comments. I'm transparent. I believe in free agency, and I believe in letting You decide. Am I lying? Is someone paying me money to do these or not do these? Go look at how the Mormons treat me. And look at how ordinary people treat me. I'm not trying to get people out of the Mormon church. The Mormon church does that pretty well on their own. I'm only repeating what I experienced for 50 years in that cult. These are the things that happened to me. Now, let's put another one with it. Mitt Romney. I think his name is Weldon. Mitt Romney. 1968. He's on his mission in France. I guess he speaks fluent French. It's a beautiful language. He's driving. 6 people in the car. Mission car. Peugeot, which is the Cadillac in those days of French automobiles. And they're driving through a small village. And from every report I've read, he was not speeding. He was not a drunk. He was not being obnoxious. He was a careful driver, according to the reports, and the eyewitnesses said that he did nothing wrong. I'm going to believe that. I don't have anything against Mitt Romney. I don't like his religion, but the man himself, I'm sure, is a pretty decent guy. Car came up over the hill, slammed into Mitt Romney and all the people in his Peugeot, and sent several to the hospital, and killed. You get that? K-I-L-L-E-D. The mission president's wife. You don't believe me? Let me give you her name. I don't have to prove this. You got the internet. Leola Anderson. June 16th, 1968 in France. I was a freshman at BYU when that happened. Do you think that the Mormon temple, the mission president's wife was wearing her garments? I bet yes. Sorry, but I bet yes. They were going to a mission meeting or something. I bet yes. Yes. She died. Mitt Romney's sitting right beside her. He was in a concussion. He went to the hospital, and I guess one of the other kids in the car went to the hospital too. Their garments didn't protect them. Now, the Mormons will say to me, and if any of them can be polite or decent, they haven't been on my comments, but that's okay. They have to defend the faith, and they get paid for that. They get Jesus points for that. I don't. Why didn't these garments protect these people? Now, the Mormons are going to say, well, the reason the garment doesn't work is the person that is wearing it wasn't faithful enough. See, there's always something in the cult. They train you and train you and train you to regurgitate out stupid stuff. The person, they weren't worthy enough. You know what? When you pull the trigger of a gun, if it's loaded, it's probably going to shoot, whether you're an atheist, a Jew, whether you're a lesbian, whether you're fat, ugly, it's going to shoot. There's a true principle there. But see, the garment depends upon the person. It's not really a protection, unless the person thinks it's a protection. So they'll say, well, the person wasn't worthy. They were doing something, and the Lord probably was punishing them. That's one of the secret Mormon sentences. The other one is, oh, he's in a better place now. But that doesn't explain why the garments didn't protect him. He's in a better place now. Oh, the Lord needed him to do missionary work on the other side of the veil. Well, couldn't the Lord just let him die in his sleep rather than be hit at 70 or 80 miles an hour by a car head on? What kind of Lord Father is this? The Mormons make it up. They make it up. It's comedy. It is the comedy show of the last 2 centuries. No doubt about it. So here's Mitt Romney running for the President of the United States, and everyone's afraid to say, well, Mr. Romney, didn't the mission president's wife, Leola, die in that car accident, and wasn't she wearing garments? How do you explain that? How do you explain that? No Mormon in the world can explain it. They just regurgitate back out. Oh, the Lord wanted him on the other side of the veil. Oh, God's ways are mysterious. That'll all be handled during the millennium. This is the cult talk. This is the cult talk. I don't believe garments cause any kind of physical protection. It's a piece of cloth. And if people are superstitious and people want to believe in the occult and they want to believe in magic, Joseph Smith certainly did. I'm going to do a video on this. I don't know if I can pull it up here quick enough, but I'm going to do a whole video on Joseph Smith and his magic Houdini show. I don't have it in front of me, but Joseph Smith believed in magic. He had a seer stone. Have you ever picked up a stone and seen anything through it? Now, I've been to college. I've been in geology. And some stones, you can get some light through, a ruby or a green stone. How about trying to read an ancient parchment or gold plate through a stone? The Mormons think, because they've seen pictures that are self-created by the Mormon church. Joseph sat there and there was a curtain and he had the gold plates and he was turning the pages and writing, and Oliver was recording on the other side. Not true! Not true! Joseph Smith had a magic seer stone. It couldn't see shit because he used it for treasure hunting before he became the prophet of the Mormon church. When he went to marry Emma Smith, her father said, "What the hell? What's your job?" And Joseph says, "I'm a treasure hunter." And Emma's father goes, "Holy shit! You're going to marry my daughter and you're a treasure hunter?" "Yes, I'm a treasure." "And well, how do you do?" "I have a rock. I have a rock." Well, isn't it amazing that the real way, and the church now has admitted this in a couple of its publications, the real way he translated, he put his head down in a black top hat. You know where Houdini pulls the rabbit out? Well, Joseph wasn't pulling the rabbit out. He's pulling out bullshit. There's no such words as reformed Egyptian. There's no such language. We found the Rosetta Stone. We know the Book of Abraham is crap. It's not even a translation of anything other than a funeral. So the Mormons always have a way. If the garment works and the arrow is stuck in the garment, see, our church is true. Your church is an abomination. Did you know? I didn't. I've been in here 64 years. I didn't know. Joseph Smith joined the Methodist Church after he had the first vision. In the first vision, he was told twice. Not once, twice. They're an abomination. Do not join any of them. And this guy goes out and he joins the Methodist Church. Look it up. If I'm lying, please let me be dying. I think your Jesus, Mormon Jesus, kept me alive in quad bypass surgery so I could make these videos and help other people out of this cult if that's what they want, or not to get in it if that's what they want. I'm just saying what I've seen. Mormons think that that garment is a physical protection. But when it fails, they go, "Oh no, it's not physical. It's only spiritual." Well, which is it? The flip-flopper? I don't mean the Mitt Romney, which is also the flip-flopper. But anyway, the Mormon church has taught him to flip-flop like that. If it works, then it's true. If it doesn't work, God's ways are not our ways. There's no explanation. There's none. Mitt Romney sat beside a woman who was killed. She was sitting in the middle of the front seat. Husband on the right, Mitt driving on the left. He has seen. He went to the hospital. She was killed. Those garments didn't protect either one. If he was man enough, he would stand up and say, listen, whoa. I don't believe that the physical garment has any physical protections. I think it's a spiritual protection. And anyone that says differently, I think they're just going way too far. But he's not man enough. He's not going to man up to that. He's going to do what the prophet says to do. Marry 14-year-olds. Kill 120 people down in Mountain Meadows, Brigham. Mitt is not a leader. These people are nutballs. They're not leaders, they're followers. They're like sheep running around in a field that keep bouncing into each other and bowing and begging and saying, yes, you're one of my sheep. Yes, you're one of my... And we all know our church is the only true church on the face of the earth. All the rest of them are an abomination. And we have all of these magic things in the temple that makes us special. We're special. No, we're not just peculiar anymore. Well, they've quit dropping that. They don't want to be peculiar. They are peculiar, but they're dropping that, which was used to be one of their secret sentences that, well, we're a peculiar people. Well, If you want to call them peculiar, that's fine with me. But I wanted to do this video on my experience that I have never been protected with the Mormon garments. They're not a physical protection. I wore them for 40 years, whatever it was. And they're uncomfortable, they're hot, they're sweaty. They used to be one piece, which was a bitch to get on them and in them and off of them and out of them. They went to two-piece, and now they have different fabrics. I used to sweat like a pig in construction, and I couldn't even take my garments off while I'm standing up on high-rise construction in the sun. So if you want to believe that there's magic underwear, or that there's Peter Pan, or that there's Jack and the Beanstalk, I don't care. I'm just telling you what I've seen with my eyes, heard with my ears. I have been in the Mormon church. I'm not excommunicated. I'm not disfellowshipped. I've never had any kind of disciplinary council. I worked in the temple in Los Angeles for a year as a temple veil worker. I've been in a elders quorum presidency. I've been in a stake presidency. I'm not an evil, wicked, terrible person that the Mormons can just say, oh, he's just an old fart. That's what they called me. And that's okay. I don't care if people call me an old fart. One guy said that it looks like somebody threw yogurt on my face and I was wiping it off. You know, please go read my comments. See how the Mormon people really are. Go to mormon.org. Let me give them advertisement. Mormon.org. And look at the nerds, the fools, the idiots, and say to yourself, how did that get filmed? His wife didn't make that video. That's a pretty amazing production. I wonder if the Mormon church had anything to do with filming those people. Nah, probably not, right? Probably all of those, 18-year-old boys had studios that they could say, I'm a Mormon, I'm ski jumping, and I parachute, and I don't use a parachute. Come on. Come on. Little common sense, little thinking. If you like it, pay your money, go to the Jesus Mall. I don't really care. But I feel an obligation as a Mormon who has been there a long time to tell you the truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth. I don't tell half stories. I don't tell half lies. I don't pretend that the garment is maybe physical, maybe it's spiritual, or it could be both. I'm done with that cult type of thinking. You do what you want in your life. That's been my experience. Thanks.